Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3396. Today's date is 25 of April 2025. It's been almost like a night at 10:18 p.m. All right. We directly jump into the question. By the way, instead of like basically let me talk. Okay, yeah. Like right now, it's like mothering hot. Like literally, it's just like it's a summer. Okay, yeah. And at this time, temperature right here means like that ki right now at my hometown is 37 degrees Celsius at 10 p.m. during the night. Okay, 10 p.m. during the night, 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, yeah. And during the day, it went up to 45 degrees Celsius. 45 degrees Celsius. Like literally, this is extremely hot. And this is just a beginning, dude. Okay, yeah. Like the summer is just started. Okay. The May month is like so much brutal. Okay, yeah. It went almost like a 45 to 47 degrees Celsius. Okay. Like like mothering hot, dude. Like literally it was like a really hot. Okay. So I don't know how it went because, like, basically, summer in India is like a really brutal, dude. Really brutal. I don't know how I'm actually surviving this thing. Okay, and I'm kind of like a thinking that na ki like I'm actually living in kind of like a tier 3 city. Okay, yeah, like basically in here there is a very less pollution and something like that. Yeah, it has some sort of heat, but yeah, but if you try to compare the people who are living in Bombay, those people are like fuck, dude. Like literally just like that na ki so much humid plus weather, it's like summer is like I don't know how does people are actually surviving in Bombay. Is like I am like whatever, how does do people do that? I don't know, it's like that na ki people are actually kind of like a something became habitual regarding about the society surrounding something like that. Okay, so like from our point of perspective, yeah, it kind of like a feel really brutal. If we went to the Bombay, it felt really brutal. The people who are actually living in Bombay, they didn't really feel that much brutal. So it's kind of like a something like that ki they are used to with this thing. Okay, yeah, like the same thing happened with the something like that ki if the guy is actually from Europe who actually came to the India at summer, probably he would die. Okay, yeah, but the people who are actually living in India, it's kind of like a something okayish. Okay, it's not really, it's like 47 degrees Celsius, meh. It's nothing really at all, but still it's like hot is here. Okay, literally hot. Whatever. So we directly jump into the question. Okay, yeah, let's go. Okay, what task should what task should I delegate or automate to free up my time? Oh, that is a really good question. Okay, yeah. So what exactly is this question? Okay, this question is actually belongs to the business. Okay, business and overall, yeah. So what is actually my answer? Okay, okay, I'm gonna give this answer regarding about my activity, like basically what I want and like how do I supposed to free up my time. Okay, yeah, because let me tell you one thing now, ki I am not doing as a typical job. Okay, like basically I'm not doing kind of like a 9 to 5 job and stuff like that. Okay, I am doing content creation right now. Okay, yeah, everything is kind of like a somebody depend on me. Okay, yeah, so I am the boss. Okay, and in the future my content will gonna improve and stuff like that. So I will gonna lead as a role as a kind of like a some leader or stuff like that. Also another thing, I also wanted to establish my business too. Okay, yeah, so that means I also kind of like a act as a chairman or CEO, something like that. Okay, yeah, so it is really essential to me to kind of like a free up my time. Why? Like basically is this thing, if you are kind of like a consider as a leader of particular organization or something like that na, there are a lot of things actually happen, the information actually coming from this way, that way, and you will gonna get really cluttered. One of the really important thing that I wanted to mention, that key, you are the asset, like a CEO or the founder or the people who establish the business, that person is the biggest asset of their particular organization or company. Okay, yeah. And what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, what is actually meaning of asset? A asset means like that ki they should supposed to be utilize their time to improve their business, not to solve the problem of their companies and stuff like that. Yeah, they would kind of like only solve, as like I'm not gonna say that ki the chairman of company shouldn't supposed to solve the problem. No, definitely they should supposed to solve the problem. But it's just like that na ki they should supposed to solve kind of like such a problem which is kind of like something very big. Okay, yeah. The small thing like like basically what I'm trying to tell you, like, don't really take it as a wrong way. Okay, as a chairman should supposed to solve the problem. It is really essential to be kind of like a think about details and try to improve that thing. But what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that ki um like outsource that work means like that na ki let that work is actually handled by the employee under you. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing कि you shouldn't supposed to be kind of like somebody taking care of those all those activities, daily activities. No. Okay, yeah, you have to be more focused on the growth and the future of the company and kind of like solve the problem, something a little bit bigger. Okay, yeah, and that problem, the solution of that particular problem was executed by the people under you and something like that. Or you could kind of like automate that particular process, like that way everything went kind of like a something smoothly without any kind of like a human intervention. So this is kind of like a some stuff that I should supposed to be do. So right now let's talk about something in detail. How do I supposed to do that? Okay, so let talk about first content creation. Okay, I am doing content creation. I am a content creator. Okay, I upload my content on YouTube and Instagram platform. My content is about the Photoshop, photography, graphic designing. This is kind of like something a genre. Okay, and I make a video regarding about that particular subject and upload that particular content on YouTube and Instagram platform. I have almost like a 1,400 subscriber on YouTube platform. In Instagram, I have 11,500 follower on Instagram platform. By the way, from both the platform, I'm not really earning any money. Okay, yeah. So in this particular, what kind of like assembly process that you do, that you are kind of like assembly automate that particular process or something like that, or outsource that particular work? Well, at this moment, I am not kind of like somebody such a person that should supposed to be hire someone or kind of like outsource my work, because I don't really have any money or I don't really earn any kind of like money from that particular platform. So basically everything I should supposed to be do by myself. Okay, regarding about design, regarding about executing and things like that. Also another thing, my content doesn't really require that much amount of kind of like a something a people or something like that, like an editor or kind of like a script writer. No, nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. So if I will kind of like start earning money from the content creation too, do I wanted to do any kind of like outsource my work? Well, yeah, probably. Like I'm gonna hire one guy. Okay, yeah, regarding about my business strategy, because of that ki uh, in the future I am doing kind of like some graphic designing. So there are so many clients are wanting to work with me. Okay, yeah. So I need a kind of like a somebody such a guy who is kind of like a talk with the client and stuff like that. Like basically I shouldn't supposed to talk with the client, nothing really at all. I'm gonna hire a guy, I'm gonna hire a particular guy who is actually talk with the client and figure it out the money and stuff and design and something like that. Okay, and that guy would tell me that he what kind of like a design I should supposed to be do, and I will gonna do that. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing, I need a kind of like a somebody guy who is kind of like a handle my administration, because in the future there are so many kind of like people are wanted to work with me and companies and stuff like that, and there are lot of things. Okay, like a legal allegation, copyright strikes, and then um, collaboration. There is a lot of stuff is actually happened. So at that point I really required that kind of like a somebody person, so that that like a kind of like a somebody manager probably. Okay, yeah, this is one guy. Another guy is that ki I'm gonna hire a guy who is kind of like giving me ideas regarding about creativity. Okay, yeah, means like that na ki, as I mentioned earlier, I am a kind of like a graphic designer, Photoshop graphic designer. Okay, yeah, so basically in my content does really require kind of like some creativity, a new idea, a new perspective. Okay, yeah. Yeah, basically I do have kind of like some idea, perspective and stuff like that, but in future I might have so many things to kind of like figure it out, and at that time I don't really have any kind of like a time to focus on my creativity and stuff like that. So at that time, if there is a guy who is kind of like helping me to figure it out, particular thing to execute this way, or kind of like a make it this graphic design in very creative way, if I have this particular guy, this would be kind of like somebody very helping me too. So yeah, like basically as a manager, and kind of like something, a guy who is exactly like me. Okay, like basically creative minded and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna hire two guys. Okay, yeah, regarding about in the future. Okay, yeah, and they will kind of like do my work. Okay, they will kind of like handle everything and something like that. But also another thing is that ki, how do you supposed to automate? Okay, yeah, what do you mean by that automate? Right now we are living in the world of AI. Okay, artificial intelligence, and in this particular world we really require to use artificial intelligence in our profession to make it as our work is as much efficient as we want. Okay, yeah. So how do we supposed to use AI in my work? Okay, basically right now I'm kind of like uploading graphic designing, and most of people actually comment me that ki, why don't you use AI to create your graphics? Well, let me tell you one thing na ki, artificial intelligence could generate the really high quality images. Yeah, I'm kind of like a somebody check. Okay, yeah. But another thing is that na ki, my images is not the kind of like a somebody something ordinary image, or kind of like a something. It's a very creative. Okay, if you wanted to know, just go to my page. Okay, yeah, go to my Saurabh Authori. It's a page on Instagram. You gonna see everything regarding about my content. Okay, yeah. What I'm trying to tell you, I'm just kind of like giving you a particular example that why I cannot use AI in my graphic designing is because of that. Ki just try to kind of like a make a like a generate a picture, generate an image that a guy who is actually writing from left hand. Okay, like type the prompt. Okay, generate the image about the guy who is writing from the left hand. Okay, yeah, and you could do anything. Okay, like if you wanted to improve everything, whatever, the end result is should supposed to be that the guy should supposed to be right from the left hand. Okay, yeah. And what kind of like a something model that you use, or what kind of like a something, how much better your AI it is, it will not generate that particular image. Every time it will generate an image where guy is actually writing from right hand. Okay, yeah. Why? Because let me tell you one thing now, ki artificial intelligence is actually work on already established images. What do you mean by that? Already established images means like that na ki artificial intelligence actually search through entire image from every image on the internet. Like basically all the image is actually existed on the internet. It actually look through that and kind of like a figure it out which kind of like a stuff is it associated with that prompt. Another thing is that na ki in our entire world almost like a 90% of the people are righty person. I am also righty person too. Okay, yeah, and almost 10% of the people who are lefty. So what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, AI is actually work on LLM. What's the LLM? LLM means like that large language model. Means like that ki like the probability of having a guy who is actually writing from left hand is very less than the guy who's actually writing from right hand. So probably is this thing na ki AI won't be able to understand this thing, and that's why it will not generate this kind of like a something image that the guy who's actually writing from left hand. Okay, yeah, because AI is not generating image. No, AI is kind of like something compiling image from multiple sources and kind of like a creating the particular image. It's not generating image. Okay, yeah, AI is not generating image from itself, nothing really at all. It's a kind of like a compilation. What a So this is what it is. Okay, and in my content creation, in my graphic designing is kind of like a something very creative. Okay, yeah. and this is kind of like something very problematic to create the image like I do. Okay, because artificial intelligence can't create things. It kind of like a some compilation of everything's and try to compile. Okay, it will not create everything. So this is what it is. This is a kind of like lack of images. Okay, sorry, lack of AI. So that's why I cannot use AI of generating image. Okay, yeah, but surely at some certain situation, at some certain time, some graphics, some design does really require to need to use AI, and at that time I will gonna use the AI. Okay, but it doesn't mean that I'm not using AI. Okay, yeah, like basically the caption and the YouTube title and description and everything is actually generated by AI. Okay, yeah, and I'm kind of like utilizing it. Okay, yeah, but yes, regarding about the automation, um, uh, at this moment I am like there are so many there are so many things that we could do lot of things with the AI, but I don't know how do I supposed to implement in the real life or in my work profile. Okay, yeah, in my content creation business. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, like basically, I should supposed to be take the AI classes to understand stuff and stuff like that. But still, okay, it's kind of like a something a necessity. Okay, what do you mean by that? Ki necessity is a mother of invention. Okay, yeah, if you don't really have necessity to use your AI, you won't be able to use AI. Okay, yeah. So it is what it is, dude. Okay, yeah. By the way, I'm I don't really kind of like simply assume that I'm not using AI. I use AI a lot, literally a lot. Okay, yeah. So basically, I wrote almost like a 20 books from AI. Okay, yeah. So it's like that. I am like a yes. So what I'm trying to tell you, I use AI a lot. So regarding about the content creation, I should supposed to be use outsource my work somewhat like a basically administration and kind of like something creative. I will kind of like a hired at least two guy. And regarding about the automation, probably I don't know at this moment what should I supposed to do to kind of like use automate my work, but um there are so many things too. Yeah, sorry, like in the automate I like right now I'm actually doing it that now regarding about the kind of like a sound designing and kind of like a sound. I already downloaded some of the sound, so but these are kind of like some very basic stuff, whatever. Okay, yeah. So at this moment like this is kind of like a stuff that I do regarding about the content creation, regarding about free up my time and kind of like a something, yeah, outsource my work, something like that. Okay, now let's talk about my another business. Another business means like that my artifact. What is that? Like by the way, na, like every day I'm kind of like somebody talking about the artifact every day, but it is really necessary. Yeah. Okay, I have to know for me for sure that the path that I chose is kind of like something 100% right. Okay, yeah. So what is actually my business? So basically the stuff that you are actually hearing is called artifact episode. Okay, I am recording this thing since 2015. I am recording these things every single day. What is actually artifact? Artifact is a kind of like a something diary. Means like that ki you could write your diary every single day. This is exactly what I do. Instead of writing, I'm recording. Okay, yeah, that's it. So because of this recording artifact, I am gaining lot of advantages, lot of kind of like a simply value, lot of thought process improve, decision making is improve. My perspective, the looking at the perspectives actually improve. So there are a lot of things actually happen. Okay, yeah. So last year I kind of like a suddenly realized that ki, what if I kind of like a suddenly make a such a app, a kind of like a suddenly social media app, name as artifact, so that people would gonna record their artifact, means like that record every single day what is actually happening in their life and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. And they will kind of like assembly upload that artifact into the internet. Into the internet means like that, into the artifact means like that other people would could kind of like assembly listen. But there is a catch that key, the person who kind of like record the artifact, their privacy should supposed to be maintained, means like that they shouldn't supposed to be use their real name, they have to use kind of like some username or stuff like that, so that people will not gonna recognize those. Why? because when you record the artifact, it is really essential to be a privacy. Means like that when you have a privacy, means like that you will kind of like a talk very bluntly and stuff like that. You will kind of like a express fully. You don't really worry about your privacy and stuff like that. When like why this thing actually essential, like just try to imagine like basically you are kind of like somebody writing a book, you're talking about your personal details and everything. You don't want to associate your name with your story, okay, yeah, because there is a lot of things actually happened, okay, yeah. So it is really essential to be to that people who record the artifact, they should supposed to be kind of like somebody something really that keep privacy, okay, yeah. And my app will provide that privacy, provide that kind of like a somebody, okay, yeah. So how do I supposed to do that? Okay, I won't be able to listen them every artifact episode, nothing really at all. So in this particular process I have to do automate, okay, automate my work. Means like that my app is kind of like a design in such a way that AI driven app. What's the AI driven app? AI driven app means like that ki AI will kind of like a drive this particular app, okay, yeah. How is kind of like happened? Well, uh, means like that ki in the future there are so many people will gonna record the artifact. Let's example is 1,000 people. If the 1,000 people are recording the artifact, I won't be able to listen and everything, okay. So it is really essential to me to kind of like a something, the AI would kind of like a something convert that artifact means audio into text, okay, yeah. Now AI will read that particular text, and in this particular reading they kind of like found some sort of word which is kind of like something not good. Means like that ki their name or something like that, okay, yeah. They found particular name, every name, okay, their name or whatever it is, okay, yeah. They kind of like a beep that sound, okay, beep that particular like a silent beep, okay. So that kind of like a people would listen the artifact, they will kind of like a something not like like what I'm trying to tell you is this thing na ki while recording artifact na, people actually talk about lot of stuff and people are actually talk about lot of name at the spur of the moment, okay, yeah, because of the spur of the moment. And after you record the artifact and after you publish the artifact which kind of like a went through multiple stages, okay, yeah. AI will kind of like a algorithm or AI will kind of like a simply understand, figure it out, is there any kind of like a name in that artifact, and try, if there is name, they kind of like a beep that sound, okay, yeah. So that the people who listen the artifact, they will not gonna know about who is that name and something like that. Another thing is that ki if you are kind of like somebody such a person who are kind of like a somebody people will recognize by your voice, then it is really essential to be that ki you could change your voice, okay. This is actually happened very easily, it doesn't really require that much AI. You just have to change the pitch little bit and you, yeah, entire voice is actually changed, okay, yeah. Regarding about privacy, as I mentioned earlier, you have to remove the name. Regarding about the changing the voice, you just have to change the pitch, that's it. Then there are a lot of things, okay. It's like being AI means like that na ki I have to be kind of like a figure it out everything regarding about everything should supposed to be happen very smoothly, okay, yeah. Also I'm actually thinking that na ki the people will gonna record the artifact, it is really essential to be that ki they should supposed to be listen the artifact in headphone or earphone. In speaker they are not allowed to play artifact on speaker. Why? Because artifact is a kind of like some thought process, other people thought process, and thought should supposed to be here on like a on ear, like it shouldn't supposed to be a public, it shouldn't supposed to be on speaker, okay, yeah. So yeah, like this is kind of like a stuff I would do. Then another thing is that ki understanding the people, okay. What do you mean by that? Ki like when I record the artifact, okay, like it's been almost like a decade I'm recording the artifact, and I realize by myself a lot, okay, yeah. And because of this artifact I try to improve my by myself, and I kind of like ask bunch of questions to myself to improve myself, something like that, okay, yeah. But in my app, what exactly is this thing that ki algorithm will understand the people who actually record the artifact, and they will kind of like ask such a question so that you would actually improve yourself, okay, yeah. And like sometime it asks, generally asks like basically the purpose of having the algorithm means like that na, it kind of like suggests such a question that you would talk more at the beginning, okay. Means like that na ki at the beginning you are really awkward to talk with yourself, okay, yeah. But once you are kind of like something good and kind of like something habitual regarding about talk with yourself, then algorithm will kind of like asking you such a question that kind of like a something it will understand your personality and stuff like that, and try to improve your personality, try to make you better, something like that. So yeah, this kind of like a question that algorithm will gonna ask you, and people will gonna record the kind of like a giving them answer regarding about what is really happening in their life and stuff like that. Also another thing is that how do I supposed to do that now this thing is because of like algorithm and stuff like that. Okay, algorithm and artificial intelligence. Okay, I'm not really technical guy, how do I supposed to do that, but I will gonna kind of like do it probably. I'm believing that I will gonna do this thing. And yeah, also another thing is monetization. Okay, yeah, means like that people who actually record the artifact, like basically it's this thing na ki like because of they record the artifact and kind of like something I run the advertise, it means that ki I will gonna earn so much amount of money. Like I shouldn't supposed to put that money by to myself, because it's not really good, because the money that I'm earning is actually because of them. So I have to be give them some sort of money, the people who actually record the artifact, I have to give them some sort of money. But I like then I should supposed to be add the monetization system. A monetization system means like that kind of like somebody YouTube, means like that the YouTube is actually paying you some sort of money to make the video. Okay, yeah, but I wouldn't supposed to do that. Why? Because I don't know, like regarding about monetization system, I'm not really sure how do I supposed to execute this way. Because let me tell you one thing na ki if I'm trying to compare as a YouTuber, then probably I understand that na ki being a YouTuber means like that you have to be focused on content creation, make the content and stuff like that, upload that content on YouTube platform. Okay, yeah, that means you are spending almost like an entire day to become a YouTuber. I don't want to be people as a called as a kind of like something artifactor, means like that people will kind of like spend entire day to record the artifact and things like that. It's not really good. Okay, yeah, because let me tell you one thing now, artifact are meant to be kind of like a something, the growth is actually happen inside of you. Okay, yeah, and basically if I kind of like add monetization means like money, then probably people are try to pleasing, people are trying to fake, people are trying to kind of like a, I don't know, it's like that na ki when you involve money, then it's kind of like really problematic for the people. I don't know, but I have to be figure it out regarding about monetization system. So yeah, okay, but this is all those process will actually happen automatically. And all right, yeah. So yeah, these are kind of like some stuff that okay. And by the way, for building this app and stuff like that, I'm not gonna rely on just automation. I have to be kind of like a hired so many people who are kind of like something really good in handling that particular building the app and building all the services and stuff like that. Yeah, like making this particular app now, it's kind of like something so many challenges regarding about lot of things. Okay, and there are so many problems that I should supposed to be solved. And yeah, but how do I supposed to free? Well, probably is this thing na ki, what do you mean by free? Like basically it is really essential to be to kind of like a free, that is really good. Okay, yeah, like if you had a stress, like being a businessman, that means you always have a stress. But I don't really think that ki that is all true. Okay, yeah, if you love doing your business, if you love, you are being really compassionate about your work and things like that na, this will not gonna problem that, this will not gonna problem that much. Okay, so it is really essential to be that ki basically is this thing, you should supposed to be happy yourself, means like that ki like basically it's like that na ki stress is always be there, problem is always be there. Okay, it will not gonna end whoever you are. Okay, but kind of like a finding the light in dark moment, that is a kind of like a something, the skills that you should supposed to be learn. And I did learn that. Okay, what is actually meaning of that? Meaning of that na ki stress is always be there, problem is always be there, but in that particular moment you should supposed to be smile. Okay, and that is kind of like something very essential thing. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I know that ki, like what is actually smile is actually kind of like a do in my life. So yes, so for that particular thing there is a some certain thing that I will gonna do to kind of like a free up my mind and kind of like a being really stress free. What should I supposed to do? Well, every year me and my friend are kind of like a decided to go somewhere. Okay, yeah, every corner of the world. Okay, we wanted to travel with all those friends. Okay, yeah, because I think that na ki like if I wanted to be stress free, it is really essential to be spend a quality time with the people that I really love. And friend is also kind of like simply one of those people who are kind of like simply that, yeah, I wanted to spend. So yes, I wanted to spend so many time with my friend. When I will have kind of like only opportunity, I will gonna spend some time with my friend. It will kind of like only stress free. Also, I wanted to spend time with my family too. Okay, another thing is that na ki I don't want to leave my family behind. Okay, what do you mean by that? It means that na ki whenever I go, like basically I'm decided to stay in Pune. Okay, yeah, I will establish my app and business in Pune, not Bombay, in Pune. Pune Lavasa, like a business. Pune Lavasa is kind of like a thing that I'm thinking, and if I wanted to stay, like this is the place that I wanted to stay, like a Pune Lavasa. So I will gonna bring up my family, bring up like my fiance's family and stuff like that. I don't want to live just with my family, just with my kind of like a wife. No, I wanted to add multiple people in my family and kind of like a some be free. Like when I came home, I'll kind of like a see smiley face all those people and stuff like that. Like basically since the entire life I was kind of like a something like a living with my family, and it is really essential to be having that family too, because it kind of like a give you some sort of moment that kind of like somebody you love that particular stuff. Yeah, I know at the beginning it kind of like something very hectic, but still it's kind of like something really essential to be living with your family, because it kind of like a give you little bit of stress free. Okay, yeah, and in my life stress is always be there. Okay, so regarding about free up myself or outsource my work or kind of like a being really stress free, this is the activity that I would do. Okay, yeah, but still this is thing one of the key important essential thing for being a stress free or being a kind of like a something like that ki feel really happy, that ki you should supposed to be learn to smile on dark moment. Okay, and that is really essential. So yeah, I am kind of like a learning that thing, but there is a lot of situation will gonna happen and I have to face that thing too. So who knows what could happen, but still I am kind of like a believe like I'm kind of like a somebody positive regarding about that. All right, yeah. So this is the stuff that I would do to kind of like a something delegate or automate my free time or free up my time or kind of like a something being a stress free time. So yeah. All right. So this is it. I should supposed to be end here, and thank you.